Greetings friends, and welcome to another top 10 list. I decided this time I should do something Smite related, since the majority of my videos on my channel are Smite time videos. This is my top 10 favourite gods in Smite. Now, as of making this video, there are currently 84 gods in the game, so picking my top 10 favourite was no easy task. I found it easy picking my top 5, but it did get quite difficult picking 6 to 10. I do believe I have picked the appropriate gods for the list, however. I'll talk a little bit about why I liked playing the gods and what first drew me to playing them, as well as discussing their abilities and kit. So let's just get started at number 10. Number 10, Sobek. Sobek was a weird pick for my number 10. When I was looking for gods to be my number 10, I was actually in a bit of a pickle. There weren't many I would consider to like enough to be put here. But when I hovered over Sobek, I realised that I've been playing him a lot lately, and I've been having a lot of fun with him. Usually when I get into a game, I will most likely be left with only the Guardian role left to pick, and there are a few Guardians which I actually like. One of the other Guardians has made this list, but we'll get to that one later. Sobek has been my recent go-to Guardian, as I really enjoy his kit. His first ability is his pluck, which allows him to just pull enemy gods right over his head. It's a powerful attack that can be put enemy gods in very awkward situations. Combine this with his other knockback, Tail Whip, as well as the slow from his ultimate, you can keep enemy gods in your mercy for a long time. On top of this, Sobek has some great skins. I only own the Land Shark skin, but I love the look and voice that the skin has. Give Sobek a chance, you may just be surprised. Number 9, Camelzost. Camelzost is another god that surprised me by making my list. He wasn't released that long ago, well, at least it feels like he wasn't, and I've just been having a lot of fun with him. When I saw the patch notes announcing him, I wasn't impressed. He had no CC abilities in his kit that could benefit his teammates in teamfights. He has a laughably pitiful leap that only has a range of 30 for crying out loud. But what Camelzost does have is high damaging abilities coupled with high sustain. His passive allows him to literally drink the blood of fallen enemies to regain a hefty amount of health and mana back. So as long as there are people dying in team fights, Camelzost gains huge benefits from it, allowing him to stay on lane for a good amount of time. His Vampire Bat's abilities is also a very good heal, so long as you hit an enemy with it. Coupled with the Blood Forge, he's almost unkillable. And remember when I said he had a pitiful jump? At least he has his ultimate to make up for it. Bad Out of Hell, great name by the way, is his go-to escape or chase down ability. It does a lot of damage, makes him CC immune, and is generally an all-round good safe ultimate that feels right to have been included in his character's kit. Play him to find out how much fun he is for yourself. Coming in at number 8, we have Ravana. I put Ravana as list purely because I wanted at least one warrior to make it, and as of right now, Ravana is the only warrior I have gotten up to rank 10 with. Now when Ravana was first released, he sucked. Plain and simple. His kit was confusing, it didn't do enough damage, at least that of what a warrior should be doing, and he was generally unplayed for the majority of this time. But then, Hi-Rez went ahead and completely changed his kit. Suddenly, Ravana was not only good, he became one of the best warriors in the game. His Prana Onslaught did so much damage, on top of the slow that was on a cooldown of around, 6 seconds? Combine that with his root and his ultimate for chasing people down and initiating, suddenly he became a viable god. I took my opportunity to play Ravana as much as I could before he eventually got nerfed, which he did. I played a lot of him in jungle, funnily enough. He just had a really good high sustain kit for pushing back enemy teams, and he had the damage to prove it. However, he was nerfed a bit with the Prana Onslaught seeing a lot of extended cooldowns. I now believe Ravana is in a perfect place where only good players can play him really well. Go ahead and give him a play. Coming in at number 7, we have Fenrir. Fenrir himself has been a favourite character of many players, and it's not hard to see why. Fenrir has some immense power and some great setup in the form of his ultimate, Ragnarok. Carrying your helpless victims in your mouth towards your team or tower is an extremely satisfying feeling. His Brutal Eyes does incredible damage, especially early game. He's the type of assassin you can build mostly defense with, and you can still provide a lot of support for the rest of your team. I don't think I need to convince you more to why Fenrir is a great god. Just play him, you won't regret it. Number 6, Naja. Is it a girl? Is it a man? I still don't know. Seriously, for the first few months of playing this game, I always thought Naja was a girl, until I read his god title as the Lotus Prince. I couldn't believe that this was a guy, and to make it even funnier, Hi-Rez did a complete remodel of him, and he looks even more like a girl. It's ridiculous. But gender confusion aside, Naja is a legitimately great assassin, who most players know him for his ultimate, Windfire Wheels, where he takes the target up into the air, and after a few short seconds, and a ton of damage, brings them hurtling towards the ground again. Massages are a great kit with a lot of setup. Build him with crit, and he will output so much damage. So yeah, Naja, must pick for my 6th favourite god. Number 5, Caffrey. You can nerf Caffrey as much as you want, Hi-Rez. He's still going to revive people, and you can't change that. From the moment I saw Caffrey, I knew I was going to like him. He's a goddamn giant scarab beetle. If you watch my Halo 3 Let's Play, then you know how much I love scarabs. Caffrey has some pretty impressive abilities. His Abduct is like a mini version of Fenrir's ult, allowing him to pull enemies further towards your team. He also has a root, some decent damage with Rising Dawn, and of course his ultimate, Scarab's Blessing. An ability which literally allows you to revive your teammates when they die in battle. Needless to say, this is a great benefit for your team, but a goddamn nightmare to fight against. There's always that risk in teamfights that Caffrey can ult any one of his allies and bring them back to life into the fight. He's a great guardian that absolutely everyone should play. Number 4, Kukulcan. Here he is, Kukulcan. My first favourite god from Smite and the first god I got up to rank 10 with. When I started playing Smite on Xbox, I immediately went ahead and played the hell out of Kukulcan. I remember playing him back on the beta version on PC, when he was known as Alquan then. However, I feel Kukulcan is one of the easiest mages to play in the entire game. He has one of the best wave clear abilities, and he just outputs so much damage. He has a great passive for mage, gaining extra magical power based on the amount of mana he has. You can well gain over extra 100 magical power, and I have capped out his magical power more times than I can count. He'll always be one of my favourite gods of the game, and I expect most of you have already played him as well. Coming in at number 3, we have a Wheelix. First time I played a Wheelix was on Assault, and yeah, she sucks on Assault. After that I really didn't like her, until I came up against her once in a Conquest game, in which she proceeded to kick the shit out of me. I couldn't believe the damage she was doing, so I decided it was about time to play her for real, and my god, was I glad I did. I had no idea that her kit was one of the best in the entire game. All of her abilities complement each other so well. Ride and jump in on Suku, perform a few basic attacks so you can get that ×3 damage on Somersault, use her knock up once you're behind them, then perform your ult to bring them back down to earth. When I first read her ultimate saying that she pulls nearest god in the air towards her, I thought that sounds pretty shit and situational, but then after playing her, I realised that it's one of the greatest ultimates an assassin can have. She's mobile, she does a ton of damage, and she's my number 3. At number 2 we have Janeway. I don't care how broken she is, I still love playing this character. But that's the ultimate argument with her, isn't it? Yes, she is fun to play as, but playing against her is a nightmare. And it's all because of that passive. Rapid Reincarnation. Oh no, Janeway is on low health and no mana, and there's a wave coming? I'll never stop that. Oh wait, I'll just back and make it back to lane in about 5 seconds, no sweat. Yes, it's ridiculous. And Iris clearly realised this, so they nerfed it just a tiny bit. But then again, they can't really nerf a character's ability, can they? The rest of her kit is great. She has a knock-up, always a win, a crit enhancing ability, a dash, and her ultimate, which is great at confirming kills or escaping. When I started playing her, I didn't like her so much. But as I continued to play her, I realised that she is so powerful and so much fun to play. I love Janeway, and I can do insane amounts of damage in the late game with her. She sits firmly at my number 2 spot. Finally, at number 1 we have chang'e. chang'e quickly took over Kukulcan as my favourite god, and she has remained in my number 1 spot with very little competition, with Janeway coming the closest to knocking her off. What can I say about chang'e? Because there's a lot. Let's start off by saying I love her design. She's a great example of good looking Chinese god. Now her passive, the Jade Rabbit, I love this passive. The fact I can stay on lane and purchase items without having to recall is awesome. So long as I have a healthy pool of mana, I can stay on lane nearly all game. Her first ability, Crescent Moon, is such a high damaging ability. It's easy to hit, and it can be performed every 3 seconds. This is why she shuts a high sustain god. This is constant damage that can be used so often. The Moonlight Waltz make her CC immune and damage immune. Ares ult? Nah, I don't think so. Poseidon Kraken? Didn't even tickle. She also has a heal with heal and reduction on top of that. And then her ultimate, Waxing Moon, which does a high amount of damage and stuns for 1 second. Plus it stuns multiple gods hit by it for an additional 1 second. So potentially it's the longest stun in the game if you set it up right. She's the god I've played the most, and she will continue to be my favourite god unless I like a new god high-res release. How unlikely that will be. So, that's my list. Thanks for checking it out. What are your favourite gods? Comment below, subscribe for future content, and check out my Smite Time series. I'm 00, and I'll see you next time. So long.